is Mac, the rhinoceros. He's here to tell you that God is good all the time. But times aren't always good. Sometimes life can seem unfair. When life is unfair, God is good. That's our theme for today. Our Bible verse for today comes from Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a strong refuge when trouble comes. Let's say that together, okay? The Lord is good, a strong refuge when trouble comes. A long, long time ago, a man named Joseph had experienced a whole lot of trouble. His own big brothers had beaten him and thrown him in a pit, and then they sold him to become a slave in Egypt. Just as things seemed to be getting better, more trouble would come through to him. Through it all, Joseph trusted that God would take care of him. And guess what? God did just that. Joseph wound up being put in charge of everything, second only to the king himself, who was called a Pharaoh. More troubles came to the land. The temperature got so hot and there was no rain for years. That meant that crops died in the ground and sheep and cattle had nothing to graze on, so they became too skinny to give milk or to be used for food. People were starving. How unfair. Joseph's family back home was starving too. They heard that there was food in Egypt, so they all moved there. They were surprised to learn that the man in charge of giving out food was no other than their own brother. God had taken care of them in time of trouble. Many, many years went by, 400 to be exact. The family of 12 brothers that had moved to Egypt had grown to so many people that the Egyptians were now afraid of them. There was a new Pharaoh who didn't remember Joseph. He made them become slaves to build his cities, his pyramids, and his temples. Now mud, blood, and tears filled the lives of the children of Israel. They spent hard days making bricks out of mud, while the taskmasters whipped them. It all seemed so unfair. God saw the suffering of his people, and he had a plan to rescue them from trouble. He called on a man named